Hi, my name is Angela McKillop, and my PowerPoint presentation is on eating disorders and athletics. So this PowerPoint presentation is in partial completion for the class PE 580. And the reason that I chose this topic is because I've had some experience with eating disorders. I've contemplated it at times, especially growing up playing sports. I also had fellow teammates that had various degrees of eating disorders. And then working in a gym fitness facility, I've seen eating disorders firsthand. Eating disorders can be defined as the preoccupation with food intake, body image, and weight control. So this is a vague description of eating disorders. We'll talk about more specifics in a future slide. But eating disorders aren't a healthy diet, it's taking it a step further. So over consuming the time, effort, energy, and fixating it on the food and how it's going to affect our body. Statistically, we are all related to eating disorders. So that could be you yourself dealing with one, maybe someone you know close by, and oftentimes it could be someone that you are unaware of dealing with an eating disorder that's close to you. There are three popular types of eating disorders. I say popular just because they are the most common. The first type is bulimia nervosa, and this is the type of eating disorder where you would consume calories. So you might see your friend eat a meal, but then afterwards they would induce vomiting to get that meal out of their system. The theory behind that is then they wouldn't absorb the calories and they would be able to lose weight. The second type is anorexia nervosa. This type of eating disorder is completely restricting caloric intake to the extreme. So it doesn't mean making sure you have the proper basal metabolic rate and then doing the math in a healthy fashion. It would mean taking that to the extreme. So maybe eating 100 calories a day or something like that. The third type is anorexia athletica, and this would be over exercise. So not doing the normal cardio 4 to 5 days per week and strength training 2 to 3 days per week. This would be taking it to the extreme. So maybe running 10 miles in the morning and then running 20 miles at night, or going to the gym 3 times a day, something of that sort. Getting stress and anxiety if you aren't working out. There are other types of eating disorders, and they're kind of all lumped together because the top 3 are the most common. Other types might be laxatives or supplements. There are warning signs for bulimia nervosa and anorexia, and some of them are similar, some of them are different, but things to look for would be evidence of binging or purging, excessive exercise, so they can kind of be linked to some of the eating disorders, swollen cheeks or jaw, calluses on the fingers from inducing the vomiting, teeth stained, maybe decaying, withdrawal, pulling away from friends or family. Dramatic weight loss can be seen in anorexia. Denial is usually linked to both. So denial of a situation, or maybe denial that you're hungry. And then an overall preoccupation with food and how it affects the body. Risks and triggers. There are many risks and triggers. The biggest one, the most common one, is gender. Females are far more susceptible to eating disorders. Specific sports can also be a factor, so that could be gymnasts, distance runners, diving, figure skating, bodybuilding, weight training, and dancing. They're more prominently focused around body image and so therefore linked to eating disorders. Athletes are 3 times more likely to have eating disorders. Unsupervised diet, so people without the right knowledge and information and then doing a diet for themselves. And then the pressures, that could be pressures from a team, from a coach, from family, from themselves. So those are all risks that put them at a higher probability for getting an eating disorder. The ways to get through it, support is the biggest thing. So friends, family, teammates, everyone being on the same page that it's a serious illness and that there needs to be some sort of solution. Seeing role models. Now there are celebrities coming out that said they've dealt with eating disorders and currently have them. And then the extreme cases might need to go to treatment centers. But all of these do need to have continual treatment. It's not that you get finished, you're done with your eating disorder, you went to a 1-day course, you're finished. It's continual. So it's like alcoholism, where it's going to be a lifelong of challenges and overcoming those challenges. There are a lot of research and resources out there. So, reputable websites, you can find information about how to prevent eating disorders from your doctor's office, the school health center. So, utilizing those and supporting. Specifically for athletics, people are afraid of eating disorders because they don't know. They don't know how people react. They're embarrassed. They don't want to let themselves down. They don't want to let the team down. And they're kind of in denial until usually it gets too extreme. Coaches have a specific link that they are either unaware of how serious the situation is or unaware that the person has gotten to that level. So as far as solution for coaches, making sure there's early intervention, taking it serious, even if it means that their team or performance might be hindered. In conclusion, eating disorders are serious. When caught early, they're easier to treat, but treatment is going to be ongoing. So as coaches, as fitness professionals, as teachers, coaches, athletic directors, it's our job to take note, to be there with the tools and understand about these illnesses and learn how to treat these students and players. As far as future research, I'd be interested in seeing how these specifically relate to men. Most of the research out there is geared towards females since they're typically the ones with eating disorders. So I'd be interested to see specific sports that have a higher rate for eating disorders in men.